Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope everyone's getting prepared. It's coming quicker than Christmas comes quicker than I'm usually ready for. And I'm pretty much trying not to go through the route of, I guess, getting so overwhelmed with it. And I'm just really trying to just enjoy it. Enjoy the process of getting there. Now that all my kids are grown up, I can take my time on some things. Before, when they're younger, you want everything to be perfect and exciting for them. When Santa Claus comes, I still do that, and we all look forward to it, but now I don't have to, I guess, worry so much. Christmas doesn't have to be perfect. It never really did, but in my head, you want the kids to be happy. Well, there's more going on in this picture than I thought when I picked it. So I think I'm just going to improvise and do like, bolder colors. And maybe just add some darks to add a little bit of, detail. Instead of trying to get every little dot and square, I think I'm just going to do like one color and then add maybe some dark color to it. Otherwise, I think this would take me pretty long, and I'm not sure you'd want to sit that long and watch that being colored. Don't mind my hands. They get pretty bad in the winter. It seems like ever since COVID, my skin changed. Maybe it's age. I don't know. And it seems like just from going outside a little bit or out in the cold, they get really dry and they crack, they hurt. I've tried all kinds of lotions, oils. Nothing really seems to work except for maybe some, I put gloves on at night when I go to bed, and that helps. But as soon as you wash your hands, it comes right back. Okay, let's try this green. And speaking of COVID, it was a pretty terrible time. And many people went through a lot of different things, and I think the world changed. I mean, it's not like the things around us really changed, but like people changed, times changed, and more people, I guess, from being stuck inside, relied on computers and their phones to fill the missing pieces of everyday life. And with less places to go and seems like stores closed, you stayed inside. And a lot of people didn't do too well with that. And some people, if you're introvert, it might have helped to know that you weren't alone, that others, sort of had to be stuck in the same situation you were. Okay, I'm not sure I should have painted that. I don't know if that was part of his hat. Oh well, that's life, I guess. Little mistakes. So what are some things you do over the Christmas holidays? If you want to comment and tell me some of your traditions, that would be wonderful to hear. I love hearing other people's ideas on different nostalgic kind of times and things that they've done. I'm not doing too good here. Things that, I guess because when I talk, I don't stay in the lines very well. I gotta work on that. So nostalgic times are fun to think about. Some people don't always think that because it makes them sad that the times are different now. And not that all the times are bad now. There are a lot of people sad and depressed or lonely. And I guess when I think about that, that makes me sad. But there is a lot of happy people too. So if we dwell on we think everyone is sad or depressed or upset or angry, there are a lot of people that are not. And it's, I guess, how we look at it. And I've always tried to have like a kid at heart. I've been through some pretty dark stuff in my life. And at the times of, those dark moments, life isn't all that good. But when you get through stuff and you try to bring joy back in your life, you work through those moments, and little by little you can see goodness and light and happiness and try to bring that with you to add it to somebody else's day and also to carry you through. Christmas sometimes can be a very hard time for people. If you lost somebody you loved and cared about, it can make life very difficult at Christmas. But then again, it's how you look at it. I know, not everybody wants to think, oh, be positive, because sometimes, that can be sort of, I don't know what you say, gaggy, because you can't always be that. You have to deal with the pain that you're going through, even if it's at Christmas time. And when you think of that person you cared about, you can go through missing that person, but you can also think of the happy times you had together and try to remember them. And it's okay to soak yourself in that happiness of those times. It can make you, feel a little bit sad because you're going through wishing it was still like that or with that person. But I guess I'd rather think about those times and thankful I have those times or had those times with that person than if I didn't, and loss is all part of life, and it really sucks. I know that. But little by little we get through these times. And just by sharing that gives hope to another person that is trying to get through that. Not sure if I should outline all that. Does that make it look too dark? I could do a green bow. One of my favorite things that we used to do at Christmas time was after we opened our gifts, that, I can't remember if that night, I think that night, I know the next day for sure, but that night we would go to all my aunts and uncles and my grandparents, and we would what was called Christmas tree hopping. I don't know if people still do it. We don't do it here because I live now far from where my family was, and we would go, yeah, Christmas tree hopping, which you would go to each other's houses and look at what each other got for Christmas. We literally would wrap our presents back up, not really with the wrapping paper, you know, if you had it left and it wasn't all torn, we would wrap everything, put everything back in the boxes, and we would show each other what we got. And it was a lot of fun. So when we would watch others open their gifts again, a lot of times it was just the mother who would go through and show the gifts, I guess, while the guys, they ate and talked in the kitchen, or stood around and watched. A lot of times us kids would watch because, you know, it was fun to see what everybody got for Christmas. I just always never realized how much work it was for each of the parents to have to rebox everything. A lot of times I think we were told just to, you know, put our sweaters back or any of the toys back, and we could play with them when nobody was there, but then when everyone was going to come and see the gifts, then we would put everything back. And I don't think any of us really were upset about it. Like, it was just fun. It was a fun thing to do with everyone. At least it wasn't for me. I mean, I really enjoyed that. And it wasn't just like the food. The food was great, and it was always fun to see what somebody else in the family made. And they would usually make their most favorite dishes. And, you know, sometimes it could be sweets, crackers, you know, your normal crackers, cheese, sausage, meats. It was a lot of good stuff, a lot of tasty stuff. And it wasn't until I got a little bit older that I actually started to drink coffee, and then that became a highlight because everybody had different kind of coffees and different kind of treats, and we did this for years. I mean, from the time I was, you know, born, I guess, until I moved out of the house, probably when I was 20. And then I still continued it with some of when I got married. Yeah, until I moved. So those are the things I somewhat miss. But I can't imagine people doing that today. I don't know. Life just seems so different. Just seems... Wow, that's a bright blue. Looks a little off, but I guess I really didn't think it was going to be that bright. But it's pretty. The color's pretty, but maybe not so much for this picture. I know what I'll do. I'll have to add this somewhere else. I'll have to come up with it. And then sometimes we would play cards. A lot of times 500 rummy. What else? Play cards. Some of us would go ice skating. Guys would stand around talking about guy stuff. Girls would stand around talking about girl stuff. All right, Blue, I'll have to figure out where I put you next. Now, let's do, how about the cat? Let's do a cat. What color cat would you like to be? An orange tabby cat to match the fire. All right. You're gonna be an orange tabby cat. He looks warm. Makes him look nice and cozy. Nothing like a nice fireplace on Christmas Day. I think Santa Claus appreciates it too. After all, he leaves just a few crumbs on the plate after he gobbles up all those cookies. That's another thing. I think if you let go of the magic of things in life, and you just look at all the bills you gotta pay, the schoolwork you gotta do, the laundry, the dishes, all those things, shoveling snow, all those things you don't really want to do. There's a lot of things we do in a day we don't want to do, and I think we do more things that we don't want to do in a day than the things we want to do, and I think that's sad. I think it shouldn't be that way, but it is. And sometimes we can be sad about that, be depressed about that, or just know that that's part of this world. And if you can do some of those things and try to look at, I guess when I do boring things, I try to live in my own headspace of, let's just say what coloring page I want to do, what craft I want to do. I write stories in my head. I think of things that maybe somebody had said to me, and I try to figure out, in some cases I'm not sure what they were meaning, and I concentrate on that. Or speaking of nostalgia, I go back in my head and I think of fun times. And not that Christmas is like my most favorite time of the year, other than spring, and a lot of good things in summer too. But I try to any kind of dark things in my life that I've been through, Christmas has pulled me through. And don't get me wrong, like, there were many things of Christmas that happened that weren't always good either. And I guess that would break my heart a lot of times at those times, because Christmas was one of those times that I would hold on to get me through different things in my life. Christmas would be just, some of the time in my life that would get me through those tough times. And it, there were times that Christmas wasn't always good. Like, there were bad things that would happen, and it would break my heart and make me sad. But even in those times, I would try to hang on to the good things of what I remember of Christmas. And I'm human, so even in those times, as things happened, I couldn't think of those good things, because I am human. But afterwards, I would try to think of the good things of Christmas. I guess my childhood of Christmas, and some of those childhood of Christmas wasn't always great, but I did always like opening presents or watching. I always watched everybody open. I come from a big family, and so there was a lot of us kids, and I would watch everybody first and open one or two of mine, and then wait till everybody was done and then open mine, because it was just, I just wanted to savor Christmas as much as I could. And my kids are pretty much the same. I'm not kidding. It would take us 2 days to get through all the presents. I had many kids, and they love to savor it, which makes Christmas more joyful. We would just say, no, let's save these for tomorrow. We would get up, we would make our breakfast, and get the coffee going, and make some cinnamon rolls or do something different, and then we would start opening gifts again, which is a lot of fun, especially when you make it last. Okay, let's see, what color? Oh, I know, I want to add a little bit of, let's see, a little bit of pink on his nose. Pink? Should I use pink? Let's see, what color is this? A little tiny bit of pink. They're just a little bit different. What color? Ooh, maybe I should add some blue Christmas bulbs. There we go. Add some blue to this. That's pretty. So yeah, if you're alone for Christmas, yeah, I'm sad that you're sad if you are alone, but you're not. You got all different people that still are here, and You know, go if you can get out. Go to a coffee shop. Go to a restaurant. Be around others. Sometimes that helps. Sometimes it makes it worse because you see others together. I understand that. That can be hard. So yeah, if you can get out, go to a library. Go to a store, a grocery store. Volunteer somewhere. There are a lot of people looking for people to help them with different tasks. Even elderly people are looking for people, even just to do something simple that they could do before, even shovel their walk, if you're able to. And that used to be stuff, you know, people did years ago. People helped people more years ago. And not that nobody helps people today. I'm not saying that. It's just, I guess today is a little bit harder and different because you just don't know how people are going to react. I've offered help in the past, and sometimes you get met with, what, you don't think I can do that? Or, you know, you don't know today. People get offended easier, and I'm not sure why, you know, like, I guess there's a lot of stresses, and so people have shorter tempers. I mean, not that nobody from the past had shorter tempers, because there were a lot of them. So in some ways things got better, in some ways things got worse. Okay, let's see. Let's do definitely a red heart. So back to unwrapping gifts in those times when we did that at others' houses. I just remember sometimes I had some cousins and they were girls, and they ended up getting some of the most beautiful sweaters. I remember that and going, ooh, that is so pretty. I really wasn't, like, I can be jealous about, you know, some things. I really wasn't, like, jealous of what other people got, and I sometimes felt that, like, for my brothers, when somebody would open up, one of my cousins would open up a Lego pack that I knew my brother probably would have loved to have gotten. So sometimes I felt jealous for other family members. I really wasn't feeling jealous for myself because I was usually happy with what I got. Not perfect by any means, but I usually had something to do with dolls when I was younger. And of course, in my teen years, it was always clothes. And in fact, we would sometimes go shopping with my mother as we got older and picked out what we wanted. Oh, I did a terrible job on that. I guess talking, like I said, and coloring is not a good combo for me. But anyway, yeah, so we would go shopping and pick out some of our own clothes. Definitely Levi's was a big thing when I was younger. Might as well get these little hearts. Maybe I should put blue hearts. That would make this blanket go with the other. What are some of the things you got when you were younger?